As the use of extended reality technology becomes more pervasive, the development of XR applications is becoming increasingly important. However, the development process suffers from major inefficiencies and entry barriers. Firstly, XR development is often inaccessible and has a steep learning curve for the end user. Not only do people need to know how to code, they need to learn how to use Unity and how to develop specifically for each XR headset. Secondly, there's a mismatch between the conventional development environment on a 2D monitor and the ultimate 3D user experience inside head-mounted displays. This Unity clip illustrates just how many steps is involved in simple 3D object manipulation, such as resizing and placing a pill on a tabletop. Finally, conventional workflows require long testing and iteration cycles, taking minutes to compile and deploy the final experience, which can be frustrating and time-consuming. To address these inefficiencies, we introduced AtomXR, a novel natural language-driven at-runtime application builder. To spawn any 3D object, you simply describe what it is you want, and AtomXR searches from hundreds of thousands of 3D models to give you the best one, from a brown cat to a coffee table or a sci-fi spaceship. The first game is a fruit-chasing game where the user runs away from a watermelon while trying to collect a cherry. We can see the user can resize and move the cherry with their hands as if it was a physical object, much more intuitively than on a 2D screen. Then the user simply says, "When I run into cherry wand, play a coin collection sound. And when I run into cherry wand, move it forward away from me." AtomXR interprets this in real time and within seconds turns it into code that actually makes the cherry play a sound and move away from the player. And here's the final experience, with the watermelon following the player, music in the background, and a scary sound indicating the game is lost when the watermelon hits the player. That's scary. Perfect. This is a very simple yet extensible example of how AtomXR can be used to make augmented reality assisted trainings very quickly without learning Unity or programming. The user spawns a small wood block and places it on the shelf, simulating where things could go in the makerspace. They then use natural language to spawn a text box and a button to step through the steps of the training. The wood block serves to show how users can practice interacting with digital objects using physical tools during trainings. The final example is a space shooter game where the user tries to dodge asteroids by shooting at them with their turret. Here we see the developer making an asteroid follow the player, and when it hits the player, a scary sound is played. With this functionality complete, the developer goes on to make the turret move left when the player presses the left button, right when the player presses the other button, and when the player presses the middle button, the rocket shoots out of the front, hopefully hitting an asteroid to save the player. They also add logic for when the rocket collides with the asteroid, making it disappear. Here's the demonstration of the turret moving left and right when the buttons are pressed. And finally, when the middle button is pressed, the rocket shoots out of the turret.